Hi, I'm Danny Bays. I'm here with DJ, MC, Stuart, Terraway, MC Terra. So you've got, what do we call you?
Terraway now.
Terraway. Why have
But
we
I
got
was called Terra from a young. Because I was a little terror.
Yeah, but why the name change though?
The name changed because obviously you've got what was going on in the world, yeah, and stuff. And when promoters was booking me at the time how can I explain it to you? Like terror. So when people were seeing my name on a flyer, it's like promoters would have booked me because they thought I was a bomber or something, like a terrorist or something like that. So what the promoters said to me, if I could change your name, he will put me in places where I wouldn't imagine to be. So I changed my name from Terra to Terraway because everyone used to think I was a Terraway kid and it suited me. Okay. So that's how I got my name.
So like to make you more friendly.
Friendly. Yeah, because when we was younger, as you know, yo, there's terror. Like, it's not that no more. It's the times have changed.
And what's your background? Where are you from?
I'm from South East London. I was born and bred in Croydon. I was brought up in a little place called Woodside, South Norwood. I don't know if you know, it's a nice area.
If you say so. So what was your first experience of music?
Music. I was about 13, 14 years old and I was sitting in my indoors. I didn't really have a lot as a kid. I had a little stereo, a little box like this, do you know what I mean? And he had the radio, the tape deck. And I remember sitting in my house one day, I turned it on, the radio, and I was flicking through the dial and that, and I come across these mad music stations, but at the time it was jungle.
Yeah.
And it was Rude FM and Cool FM. I started listening to them, so I started listening to people like Devious D, Funky Flirt, Shabba, Skibber, Brocky, Det, and then on Rude FM I was listening to people like Evil B. I think he's B Live now, isn't it? So you had Evil B, some next guy called Pedro. I don't even know where he is, but he was a big MC. So whoever knows him, get hold of him. And there's another one, X-Man, absolute ledge. They got me into music. That's what was my first.
So jungle was your first experience with the pirates and the music industry. So where did you first hear garage?
Where did I hear garage?
Who was the first person you heard play garage,
right,
where, or?
I'll tell you a funny story about it. I was 14, 15 as you know, thinking I'm the man. I was on the estate as a kid, mucking about, doing whatever, and my pal, Lee Valentine, he was like one of the older bods round my way. He was always up to something, always DJing, always doing music stuff, and he said to me, "Oi, come and help me a minute." He didn't tell me what we was doing. He didn't tell me nothing. He looked at my old dear and went, "I'm nicking him for a minute, yeah?" So mum was like, "All right, get rid of the boy for the day or whatever, yeah?" So I've gone with Lee to a tower block, right, in Crystal Palace. He's going, "We're going to set the radio up," and this radio station was up front, and he was just putting it on with some other guys called D and Chico and that lot. They was all like friends, and they was putting on this radio station. At first it was like a joke, but it weren't a joke in the end. So when he put it up, I was with him. I was like his little labourer, so I learned how to set radio up from someone who was a pioneer in that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So everything that boy Lee Valentine, big you up Lee, knew, he taught me. So then I took that, when they stopped doing up front, I took that to another level. I started setting up other stations, as you know yourself.
So you learned how to put the together,
put all the transmitters together and all the wires. And
so explain for our viewers how pirate radio works. So you would have a studio.
Yeah, you'd have a studio with like a link box in, which carries the sound from your mixer or whatever you've plugged in. It goes straight back. In them days, as you know yourself, it weren't none of this internet or anything like that. There weren't even mobile phones when I was doing radio. So they had like a link box, and it was like a band one, they call it, aerial, because it wasn't even microwave then, it was band one. And I remember that was like a mini transmitter, and you could have your studio anywhere as long as you had the right wattage coming out of this link box. Yeah, so we used to put the studios in someone's kitchen or derelict flats and things like that, and then obviously we'd have the stuff on the transmitting off the tower blocks.
So what was the you said about studio being in a kitchen? What was the craziest studio you remember being in?
I remember going up to there was a park in Crystal Palace, and it had this great big tower block in the middle of it. It was only about, it wasn't big, it was about 4 or 5 stories high. And I remember going up there, and they said to me, was this number of the thing, and I phoned up, I said, where's the key? And we looked through the letterbox, and it had a rope, shoelace it was, key. So I've got the key, I've opened the door, and I've walked into this studio, and there's a geezer sitting there playing a guitar with no guitar, like a nut job. And I just carried on about my business. And this guy, to this day, is a big DJ. I'm not going to say who he is, but...
You're not going to grass him up?
No.
Okay, so what was Upfront about at the time? Because I vaguely remember they was on 99.3.
Yeah, they was on 993.
They was on 993, and you was obviously...
I was just like, I wasn't really on there too much because I was young. Do you understand what I mean? So at the time, I was more like Valentine's little Joey. Do you understand? But I was young. But I did eventually, as I got older to about 15, 16, I did go on there a couple of times. But the radio station never suited me at the time because I was like listening to rowdy artists. So I was like do you know what I mean? Like a club raving sort of MC. When you go on to Upfront, you had to be like a host, or there wasn't really MCing on there, but the MCs they did have on there, they have done it for a long time. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they had the experience where I never. So I decided to go and do something else because Upfront finished then, like it just finished all of a sudden. So I moved on to Fat FM.
Who was around at the time that you kind of looked up to? Who was you looking at? Because you obviously, you're an artist now.
Yeah.
Who did you look at then and decide that you wanted to be like?
I wanted to be more like Skibbity, Shabba. I don't know why, they just used to get me gassed. Like when I was a kid, I could sit there and listen to them, like Skibber, Shabba, X-Man and B-Life. Them ones there, they are the lyrics. They got the bars, you know what I mean?
Okay, so did you have a show, like a permanent show on any of these stations, or?
I had a proper show on Fat FM.
Yeah.
Obviously, I used to run the station as well, Fat FM, do all their aerials, and I used to like take control of it with a couple of one of my pals. But I actually I think I was on Fat FM about 3-4 times a week because I was young.
That's a lot.
I didn't have nothing to do. I didn't have nothing in life really. I was just like this kid, knew about radio, and now I'm going to this station, and it was up on Crystal Palace High Street. We had it behind the old McDonald's. I don't know whether you know it. And
I know.
You know what I'm on about?
The record shop was where Dexter and that.
Over the other side, yeah.
Marvel Records.
That's it,
Reds.
Marvel.
Was it Reds?
Reds.
Yeah,
we got Reds.
Yeah. What's happened? Did you ever keep in contact with any of the guys?
I spoke to Dexter about 6 months ago. Big up Dexter. If you ever want your decks sorted out and stuff, he's the man. He's the technician now. He sorts out all the decks and stuff.
He's over at MCQ's, his dad shop.
Is that where it is?
Yes, his dad shop, Wharf Road.
Sick.
Advert there. Cut that out if you like. It's up to you.
No.
How'd you go about getting your first booking then?
Oh, mate. My first booking was from one of your pals, as it goes, Milton. I want to big up Milton and Matt. I think his name was Matt Tully.
Yeah.
And they done an under 18s in Fairfield Halls.
Croydon.
And it was me, DJ Para, because I used to MC for Para on Upfront. I used to talk for him and stuff. So it would be me, Para. This is before So Solid and that, though. And Romeo was there. He wasn't even in So Solid then. Who else was there? Asher D. There was a few of them, but I can't really remember who the DJs were because I was young. But I remember it being in Fairfield Halls.
Do you remember what you got paid?
Yeah, about nishpence.
But did that lead to other work?
Do you know what it done? I got a lot of respect for them because I was young, innit? So they was trying to ease me in because they knew that I could possibly do it. I don't know, but I had a good experience there.
Who would you say at the time, listening to the Pirates, was the kind of, who's your favourite in regards to UK garage?
What out of it in total that I think actually made?
Now people will say, I think it's the go-to. It's the people generally say EZ because he's obviously worldwide successful.
Yeah.
But at that time, you're talking about the days at Upfront. I've never even heard of DJ EZ.
No. So, DJ EZ was on Freak FM. He was just paying subs via DJ then, wasn't he?
So I remember people like Goodfella.
Yeah, he was the man.
KCK.
Yeah.
Jesse James, Billy Fitz. Yeah, so it was.
Who did I used to well, I would sit there and actually listen to their whole show. It was two of them, two DJs. One called Risky.
Yeah.
Remember Risky? And he had two MCs, Brett, Madby,
yeah.
and Asher. He had them, and then there was another guy who was like, they were from Peckham. His name was G Money, and he had a nephew, and he was Crazy D. He's a big dubstep MC now. He MCs with Hatcher and all Scream and all that. Does loads of things. So big up Crazy D. That's who I used to like move with when I started.
So helping you along the way, who would you say? You said you worked with Lee Valentine. You got booked by Milton.
Yeah.
Do you have like a mentor or other than anyone else along the way?
I didn't really have a mentor because at the time, you got to remember I'm still young these times here. Remember like teenager leaving school and like it was a different world for me. Like most DJs, they do this later on in life, don't they? And process. So to me, it was like an everyday. I'd get up. And I'd be focused on, like, right, I need to do this with the radio. I need to get these DJs involved. And then my whole life was radio. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
As an artist, that got pushed to one side.
So you did MCing and made some tunes and stuff, but you're now DJing as well.
DJing.
When did you learn to mix?
I learned how to mix on the radio. I'll tell you a little story about this. I was in, there's an area around my way called Shrublands, and they've got all of these blocks. So we had a radio station in this block, and none of the DJs, they didn't know how to get there. They couldn't get to this living studio or nothing like that. So there was no DJs. So I decided to get a pair of decks, of records. Sorry, get a load of records. How hard is it? Yeah, everyone else is doing it.
So Terraway, you're saying about so you've been doing the MCing, doing the making tune stuff. So you can mix.
Yep.
When did you learn to mix?
Dan, I learned how to mix live on 92.5 Elite FM. None of the DJs turned up one day, and I had to go there with a bag of records, and I thought I could DJ. If they can do it, I can do it, yeah. I clanged up the gaff, I swear to God, I clanged it up for a solid 6 hours, at minimum, on the radio. I remember Lally coming to the studio, saying to me, get off the decks.
What tunes were you mixing at the time?
I was mixing more DEA stuff,
Yeah.
to be honest, because that was sort of like my little circle, like Para, Lally, Lloydie. Because we had the radio, Para was making tunes, and you see Lally was pushing them out, and then we had Big Apple boys like Hatcher, John, Arthur, and all of them, like Artwork. They used to sell all the tunes to all the DJs, so it was good, really. Big up Para, he done quite well, to be fair.
Para's a wicked producer. I spoke to him recently. We're going to do this thing of try and find out. I'll actually ask you the question. Who was the first garage MC to be on a UK garage song? And you need to tell me the name of the song.
I couldn't tell you. Is it Neat? No? I couldn't tell you.
Nobody knows.
I couldn't tell you.
We've pinned it down. It's probably It's a London Thing. But
yeah, probably.
That we can say is definitely a UK garage song with an MC on it, but no one can actually categorically. No one can say. I asked Para and he said it.
Chronic, you're on about it.
Yeah.
London Thing.
Yeah.
Scott Garcia.
Yeah.
Styles.
Yeah. But it's Ask Para is the only one that says it might be Munchie. There might be a tune out there, but no one seems to know it. So yeah, it's just one of them interesting things because It's a London Thing and A Little Bit of Luck were made a month apart from each other.
Yeah.
But both released the following year, and yeah, It's a London Thing did come out first. Yeah, so Scott got in there first with it, as far as I'm concerned. Unless someone can come up and say it was categorically this song. Creed says it's him with the song done with Dominic Spreadlove, but we've got no audio of the song.
So that counts.
So well, I would need, you know, if this was a documentary and we was doing fact proof and everything, we'd need some sort of proof. So if anyone has got a copy of a vinyl of a Garage MC on a tune before '97, then
send it in.
Send it in. Right, so you're currently on Flex FM with DJ Carlos on a Friday night, 8 till 10. How'd that come about?
I've known Carlos since I was a kid. Like, he had a little mob of boys in one man, I had another mob of boys in the other, and they all knew each other. So when we was kids, I had Fat FM, and Carlos had a show on there, and he used to play Mondays 10 till 12, and he used to turn up to this radio, mob-handed, 3 or 4 record bags, and his show was 10 till 12, innit, yeah? No. Carlos was doing 10 till 6 in the morning. Rinsing. Good boy. Had it.
You're doing it as part of Double Trouble. How did you guys come up with it?
Yeah, well, Carl really calls me Trouble, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he's double, isn't he, the size of me? So that's what that's what he's calling it, Double Trouble.
So,
you know,
you guys are doing some merchandise, your branding,
Yeah.
doing your lives each and every Friday with
Every
your shows,
Friday.
going really well, getting some good numbers, getting some good feedback. So what's the future for it?
What for Double Trouble was
Double Trouble.
We're just trying to build the name, obviously, and then we're just trying to get into different avenues. So probably because we don't just play garage, we play a bit of everything. Do you understand? Because
Chinese techno.
Chinese techno, you know. So it's mainly garage, but we do try to involve. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep it a bit. How do you say it these days? A bit modern, a bit current. So we're pulling producers in the house game, the garage game, all the youngsters. So if you're a youngster and you're a producer, don't be shy not to send me tunes. I listen to them in it. So we've got that, and then hopefully we can get some bookings out of it, some promo work, whatever comes our way. We're just loving life.
Can we expect to hear some Double Trouble music?
Double Trouble music's coming out soon.
Okay, what can we expect? What kind of genre? What would you say genre-wise it is?
I would say it's probably garage and house, like.
Okay, what tempo is it?
About 132.
It's garage.
Garage, yeah.
House tends to be around
126.
Anything from 120 up to 126, 127. Anything above that is generally deemed as garage.
Well, to be honest, that's Carlos's department. He's the man who loves all the buttons and makes tunes.
What tempo do you prefer to MC at?
MC at myself, probably about 138, comfortable. You know, but I can MC to everything. Like I can MC to jungle, drum and bass, rap, hip hop, every beat, any beat I can MC it to.
Okay, so got some. I'm going to get some feedback about some of your pirate radio stories. So tell us a bit about your history in pirate radio, because you're obviously Flex FM's legal, so you've gone from pirate to legal, which is obviously the goal when you're on pirate.
Yeah.
And you've got all the songs with you swearing in it, and everyone don't care, and everything
It's
a bit raggo, like I said. And now we're in like a massive, luxurious studio, sitting in the Bel Air suite in Flex FM. So,
My story.
Tell us the story.
94, 95, I learned how to engineer, was probably about 15, 16, and then I was setting up probably the biggest garage stations that was around then. You've got to remember there wasn't no internet then, there wasn't no mobile phone, all the people listened to radio in it. So I used to set up up front, Fat FM, Supreme FM. I dabbled in a bit of Delight. I think I set your one up when we was kids a couple of times.
Flashback.
With old Lee.
Yeah.
Flashback, that was it. I've done loads of stations, you know, I've got to be here all day. Vision FM,
Yeah.
I set that up and I give that to them boys to run. Intent as well, I used to set that up. I used to set a few of them up. 925, that was Elite, Taste. I used to set loads of them up. I'm trying to think of what I used to do, like the African stations and like the Yardie stations as well. So I'd set up like Vibes FM, I'd set up Woe, I'd set up Genesis, old Dennis Rowe, big up Dennis Rowe, yeah. I used to set up Genesis for him, help him out, bless him. And then I used to set up for really everyone. I could have 9060, what was that?
9060.
But it wasn't Mission, it was something else.
Raw Mission.
Yeah, it wasn't Raw Mission though, it was something else I was setting up on there.
90.
90.6. I think it
Lightning was 90.8, wasn't it?
That was it. Lightning.
Fox,
yes, yeah, that's it. All the
passed
Brixton
away,
boys.
God,
Yeah,
Fox.
R.I.P. Fox.
So right, so future-wise, so you've got sponsors at the moment.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's done quite well with that.
Well,
You've had more than one sponsor. For that last year, you had
yeah, we've had the Fitness Foods.
Yeah.
We had them. We had the DJ shop,
Yeah.
which you helped out. We've had Pablo Clothing. That's what we're dealing with now. Big up Pablo Clothing. Big up Luke. Go and follow them on Instagram. They actually do some good clothes, you know. Pick them up. They got quality clothes. Pablo, go and check them out. I've just that's just from radio, from being consistent. Like all these DJs and MCs, they look at people that are getting sponsors and they're like, how are they doing it and stuff like that. It's not because of who they know and it's all favouritism. It's not that at all. You just got to keep consistent of what you're doing, and eventually you'll get things out of it.
What advice would you give to somebody who wants to get into music right now?
What, DJing or MCing or what?
I think some people are coming through as artists in their own right, whether that be like Baklava, she DJs, she sings.
Yeah. See, I look at it a bit different, right? If you're going to be a DJ, right, and you just want to be a DJ, be a DJ. Don't be expecting you're going to be going to MC and DJ at some big rave main room. I'll say garage because we're into garage, right? So the garage boys are the ones that created that music for that time, for that era. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? When you get new boys, they're DJing their tunes. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So their sets, they're just playing all the main stars tunes. So all them main stars people, they're your garage scene. Do you understand? Old school garage. So my advice to an up and coming DJ, if you want to be big and you want to take it next levels, do your own production. Do your marketing right. Try and use people, platforms, collab with different people, but don't collab with people that have been someone. Collab with people that are going to grow with you. Do you understand what I'm saying? That are going to help you out and help you back. When you see DJs nowadays, they go and, I don't know, they go, like me, if I was a DJ, I'd ring up Creed or someone, or I'd ring up, come and MC for me quickly. But then that doesn't benefit me. That just looks like to a raver or a DJ, he's going to have to get them, man. But when you do it off your own back and you channel your energy into production and making yourself the DJ, the people DJ, that's when you get booked. Do you understand what I mean? Because that's what I've done. I used to think to myself, why don't I get booked? Why don't I do this? Why don't I? It's because I always used to follow fashion. And now, since you don't follow fashion, set trend, it's gone.
Right, so thank you very much for your interview today.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Danny, as well.
That's all right, mate. Like I said, where can we find you on social media?
You can catch me on every social media at MC Terraway. TERRAWAY. Go and follow me. Let's get this thing cracking. Thank you very much.
The street, they're moving to the beat in silence. I see a man with a plan of another little scam collecting clients. I see kids on the street drinking rum, leaving no money or guidance, mixing the food up, send the ingredients, give me the appliance. If you want to earn money, you better listen, learn something English, maths and